Aloha, Christy. It's so good to see you again. It's been so long.
Aloha.
So let's have a conversation. So there's a guy named Kevin Samuels who is basically in the process of being thrown through the cancel culture because of the way that he, I guess, demonizes and disrespects and treats women, right? Now, I have an issue with this because freedom of speech, like if he doesn't like women, he doesn't like women. I mean, the Klan's been hating black people forever. And do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm a little torn. But what, as a woman, what do you think of this man? Do you know anything of him?
So I've watched maybe two or three like snippets of different people being on his show. Okay. I don't have a very good picture because I don't watch all of his episodes, but I will say this. These guests that go on to his show that use his platform, they're fully aware of who Kevin Samuels is, what his demeanor, what his approach is, that he is raw and keep it real if that's what he believes he's doing. So I believe if you put yourself in this position to be, you know what I mean, chastised and scolded and like demeaned, if that's what,
Mm-hmm.
people think is going on, it's
Mm-hmm.
like people willingly go on his show. So, I don't see anything wrong with what he's doing.
Yeah, so I had a conversation with someone and they were just like, he's like a cancer to the black community because he's bringing us down. We already have a hard enough time, and he's a black man trying to destroy black women. And I took all that and I just thought, well, this is just perspective because I don't see it that way. I don't like most of the things that he says. I agree with some of them. I just think that he says them in a jackass kind of a way, or he says them in a way
Yeah.
where, there's like, I remember I had a conversation with someone one day and we were talking about religion, and the other person was an atheist. And he was like, I don't have issues with atheists. But then while the other person was trying to explain to him why they didn't believe in God, the other person was laughing at them. And I'm just like, well, if you say you understand, but you sitting here laughing in their face, like that don't go
Yeah.
hand in hand. He kind of has that kind
Yeah.
of attitude where
Yeah.
you can believe what you want to, but I'm gonna think you a fool. And that's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the thing is too is that both men and women are on his show because one episode I did see was with a young man, but majority of it is with women. And like I said, I don't see how he is dragging the black community down when black people are willing to go on his show. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know
It's
what
like give
though?
the devil what the devil is
When you
due.
put it that way, instead, like, because that was someone else's quote that I used, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would say he's maybe manipulating or taking advantage of the weak-minded black person, having them on his show, making a
I
fool of them,
disagree.
and then because he's making money. This man is making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from YouTube and
Yeah,
social
of
media.
course he is.
So
I will tell you what the reason I disagree is because these people, like I said, Kevin Samuels is not someone that just popped up. Like we've known about him now for a while. We've known what his tactics are. We know what we're going to get when we watch a show. It's like back in the day when we watched
true,
Jerry Springer, we know chairs were going to fly, punches were going to be laid. You know what I mean?
true,
We knew that was
true.
going to happen on Jerry Springer. So it's the same thing like you go on Maury, you're like, okay, it's going to be some paternity shit. You go on Kevin Samuel's show, you know what it's going to be. It's not going to be anything that is like, you know what I mean, sugar coated for anyone. That he sells that.
You
That
make
is
a
his,
That's his brand. That's his brand. You make a good point.
yeah.
I didn't think about it that way. And I guess, I mean, I do feel like Jerry Springer and, Maury exploit the ignorant, poor,
They do it willingly. They're
right.
paid,
I
of
agree.
course, or whatever, but they call the show. Jerry doesn't find people in the middle of wherever and say, oh, you're sleeping with the mom and the daughter and the cousins, come on my show. They have to call. They have to say, hey, I want to go on your show. They have to call Maury and say, Maury, I've had 10 men I've slept with in one day. I don't know who my baby daddy is. Maury doesn't know that. They have to call,
True.
right?
True, true,
Same
true,
thing
true,
with
true.
Kevin Samuels. He doesn't know that she's 32 years old, have three kids, live at home with her mother still and not working. She had to
Well,
call
you know
him.
what?
Like,
I mean, I completely agree. You make very good points. But I think that most like with this cancel culture, like there's a petition. I ain't gonna lie, I signed the petition. I signed the petition
You
to
said
get
what?
there's a
You
petition.
signed it?
I signed it. I did. I signed it.
Honey, for what?
Because I don't think that I think that what he is attempting to do, he could do it in a more positive way. I do think that I don't like that. I mean, if there was a petition to cancel Maury and Jerry Springer and all that, I signed those too. So this isn't, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that he is not going about trying to help the Black woman or anybody who seeks his advice on relationships in a very positive way. I think it's condescending sometimes. Like he kind of does it in a way where I'm gonna make you look stupid. Like his goal is to make them look stupid. Like his facial expressions. Like I watched one of his episodes and I couldn't even get through the whole thing because I was just like, he is making this girl look like he makes them look so or he makes them feel so small. Like he'll ask the chick, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think you are? Oh, I'm an 8. Who be like, like you don't got to do all that.
You know, what makes you 8?
You get what I'm saying?
Again, we have to lay the responsibility where the responsibility should be. The responsibility is with the guest.
I agree. No one, he doesn't force anyone on his show. But I do think though that he you know, I saw him, I think that I don't know. I just think he could do it in a better way. I saw him on Tasha K. There's this YouTuber, Unwind with Tasha K. I love her show. Go check it out.
She was the one that exposed Derek Jackson stuff that turned out to not.
And she's been doing stuff for a long time. She got like a million subscribers. I love her. She cracks me up. She drinks wine. I drink wine. Hey, Tasha. So she had Kevin on the show. And she has a segment called The Wine Cellar, and they like go into like a Black basement wine cellar. It's really cute. And she had him on the show, and she was just like, you know, people been dragging you and saying all this stuff about you. She's like, but what I gotta say is, you don't be lying. She said, well, what she didn't say, because he doesn't lie. He just doesn't go about it in the nicest way. And it's just so hard to watch a Black man be cruel to a Black woman. I think that's the issue with people wanting to cancel him. You know what I mean?
You know what? This is the thing, right? It's like cancel culture has been out, right? Like lately it has been at an all-time high that cancel culture is like everywhere. When I think about this, I think about, okay, let's go back to when rap music really started getting out there. It's popular, and how they wanted to ban rap music because of the lyrics and the message it was giving and things like that, right? But people willingly bought into rap. They willingly bought into those lyrics. It's the same thing with Kevin Samuels. In my eyes, is that I just look at it as a form of art and entertainment that people buy into. He has all these subscribers. They love what he is giving. There's an audience for him. Okay.
You make a good point,
it is,
though.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of how he does things, but I respect what he's doing, just for the mere fact that people are willingly going on his show over and over and over and over again. He's not forcing these people. He's not, what do you call it? Like exploiting homeless people. Like, you know how you see on YouTube videos or videos that people like, you know, prank homeless people and they take advantage of them and they're vulnerable. These people are not vulnerable.
You're right. And you make a good point when you reference rap music in the early 80s and 90s or what have you. And they said a lot of negative things about Black women.
Yeah.
And it was an audience for that. And they made millions of dollars doing it. And that is a very, I didn't think about that. I mean, like you kind of gave me a little aha moment there. Like, she's right.
That's what we're having a conversation.
She's right. Maybe I should have signed that petition.
Look, honey, before you start anything else, let's have a conversation. The other thing I want to talk about real quick while we were talking about cancel culture, Lil Nas came out with his song today,
I saw
Industry Baby, right? And honey, I know people are probably upset about that. And I was going to do a recording for it for my Nosy Neighbors video. But I love the boldness of him, that it's kind of like, look, you know, they could try to cancel me all they want to. Like, he already dropped Montero, you know, Say My Name or whatever it was, you know, a couple months ago. And with the Nike shoe, and people went mad, he gave the devil a lap dance. And
Mm-hmm.
he came back harder, and he has a huge fan base. And this is the thing, it is entertainment.
You're
There
right.
is someone for everyone, just like porno, right? They have different fetishes, people that, you know, they like different things. So it's the same thing. Everyone has an audience. And I'm not going to knock anyone's hustle as long as they're not committing a crime against someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, so I spoke to someone who brought this to my light. I mean, to my attention, this light to my attention was this transgender person that I'm friends with, follow on social media. And they really had their argument. When I think about everything we've already just talked about and thinking about their argument, it was really more personal than it needed to be. And as you said, this is entertainment.
Yeah.
YouTube is education and entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, other than that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you can't take things too personally. I know I believe her name's Stephanie, but she commented saying, you know, well, he doesn't even like his own mother. So, you know, he just hates women in general. But that's his personal business, and you're taking this way more personally than you need to. And I see it differently now that we've had this conversation. I really do. I see it completely differently now, because I haven't spoken to a woman about this, to be honest. The only people I was talking to about it were my roommates, who are two men. One's white, one's black, and my transgender friend Stephanie, who that's a whole nother conversation, girl. We're gonna have to talk about that one day, because me and Harvey.
That's okay.
Me and Harvey. You know,
I'm glad you're open to what I had to say, to look at it in a different way and not just be tunnel visioned based on emotions only. And, you know, I just have to credit, of course, my years of training, working in psychiatry, of course, is that I'm able to have an eagle's eye on everything. And that way I don't take things personal. You know, when I see things on social media, or like when I see Kevin Samuels or anyone, for example, like, you know, I could be scrolling social media and I see a meme that says, you know, women that have been married 2 times or 3 times are failures, or like they say demeaning things that apply to me per se. I don't take it personal, because I know that's not me, right? And I think that's what people like, that's where they're going wrong. You're taking things personally when it's not really directed to them. If he's not speaking directly to you and he's speaking to his guests, but somehow, honey, you know, my granny always say, only a hit dog will holler. If it applies to you, okay, so be it applies to you. You know what I mean?
Okay, I do. Okay, so you just made me think of something, right? So, like, my mantra with the N-word, right, is I'm not one, so it don't bother me. Like, when I hear white people or whoever use the word, it doesn't bother me. Now, if you call me that word with the intention of trying to hurt my feelings, then I'm gonna have a problem with you, and we're gonna have an issue. So I just thought about
the gloves are off.
Right. But I think that I'm torn now between understanding what Kevin Samuels' intentions are. Like, is your intention is to help this woman, or is your intention to make a fool of this woman? Because it honestly feels like when you watch his show, his intention is to make you look stupid. And these people keep willingly going back and back, like Maury and what'd you say? Maury and Jerry Springer. They go back over and over and over, knowing what's going to happen to them.
So can I just say this? Okay, this is something that I use at times, like, you know, with other people in sessions and stuff like that. I say to them, and I tell them, I said, I want you to say this. I allowed a man that is unemployed to move in with me. I want you to say it out loud, and I want you to hear that and process that. Right. So, like, there's different ways, of course, to, like, you know, let someone get a grip of what you're trying to say, or push the message through, because sometimes some people, like, they need to hear it, and they need to hear themselves say it for them to, like, for it to address, like, for it to register in their minds, right? So I think what he's doing is trying to, like, say, okay, wait a minute now. What you're saying, does this really make sense? Like, you're telling me right now, you have 3 kids by 3 different baby dads, and you live at home with your mother at 36 years old. Your nails are done, but you don't have your own place, and you don't have a job. Right. So now, I totally understand where he's coming from with that. Maybe his message and how he said it was not right? But it's like, he's like, okay, well, how often do you get your nails done? Oh, I get them done every 2 weeks. Okay, so when was the last time you took your kids on vacation? You took them to the zoo, you took them on an outing. Oh, I don't take them anywhere, but you make sure your nails are done, your hair is done. You know, that kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? So absolutely, it is all in how he does it, but he has a point.
Yeah.
He has a point. You know what I mean? His he
so
didn't wrap it
that's
up
the
and
thing
put
though.
a
I was
nice
trying to
bow on
figure
it.
out his intention. And again, by the way, you just broke that down. Because I tell you, when you watch the show, it feels like his intention is to make a fool of you. But I think now, and I understand exactly what you're saying, because I've had that conversation with some girlfriends of mine when they're going through things. You gotta open their eyes and be like, you did this to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think his intention is you're a fool, and I'm trying to help you see it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make a fool of you. I'm trying to help you see that you're being foolish.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. My friends that know me that will watch this, they'll say Christy may be like a female Kevin, because I'll tell them, I say, girl, you dumb as hell. Did you just hear what you just said? You just told me. And I said, girl, say it loud. Say it again, what you just told me. Like, I sometimes my friends are like, you're literally so harsh when you say things. But I'm like, no, I'm going to be that friend that's going to give it to you raw. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those people that go on his show, they don't have people in their lives that have that raw, real conversation with them in reality.
They don't have a real friend to tell them just the truth without putting, like, you know, I'm that friend too. Like I will tell you what may hurt your feelings, but I ain't gonna be. But see, I do it. I'm not as ruthless as Kevin Samuels.